Oh my Sam, you're not in the attic dungeon. What's happening? Don't worry, I just have to record from my kitchen today. So don't worry, I've got this. Welcome to the kitchen dungeon. My name is Sam, and whether you're a bit confused by this intro or you just want to become a more relaxed DM, I'm here to help you with everything. Yes, I am still very bad at these self-promotion bits, but still, here's me telling you that I like it that you are watching me. If you want to make me even happier, then you could press the subscribe button, the bell, leave a comment, shower confetti on top of me when you see me in real life. You know, all the good things that somebody needs to make it through the day. Even more important, I think, don't forget that I am organizing Day of Dungeons, Belgium's first tabletop role-playing game festival, and at this very moment we have sold 75% of our tickets, so hurry up if you still want to attend, play a game, attend a workshop, watch the live play, you know, the whole shebang. Enough talking about that, more talking about today's topic. And today we're talking very simply about some things that I have learned throughout the years that not only have made me a better DM, but also a more relaxed DM. DMing, a lot of people stress out about DMing for the first time, so here I am trying to help you with not doing that. Very simple tips, so let's see what we can make of it. The first one is the most important one, that is why I put it all the way at the top. It is to have fun. You are doing this as a hobby. Yes, you are kind of entertaining other people, but you should also be entertaining yourself. You will be spending a lot of time prepping stuff, running stuff, thinking of fun challenges, what have you, which can be fun in its own right, but the execution should be fun as well. So if your players are doing stuff that you don't like, and I'm not talking about deviating from the story, that's kind of how the game works, but they're behaving in a way that you don't like, then be sure to speak up. You are spending a lot of time doing this. You should be entitled to as much fun as the players, maybe even a little more, but don't tell them they get greedy then. Have fun, entertain yourself, and guard your personal borders. Second one, if there are some things that you are not that good at, be sure to use your players' strong suits to make up for your own weaknesses. If you are an amazing storyteller, but you tend to forget some of the finer rulings in the book, don't hesitate to use that rules lawyer player at your table to help you out. Nobody expects you to be this perfect Swiss Army jack of all trades that knows everything. If you need help, ask for help. As I've said before, you're there to have fun as well. Your players know this and they will help you out. So you get stuck on the rulings, ask your rules lawyer. Not very good at planning sessions, ask somebody else to help you out with this. Even if there are things that you're good at, it can be fun to involve your players. For example, a roll has happened, a skill check has happened, you've already decided whether it's a success or a failure. Ask somebody else to narrate the success or the failure. Not necessarily the player who did the roll, but involve the other people in narrating the story. This can be especially fun when one of the players kind of wanders off. Maybe the rogue is wandering off for a scouting mission and they're stealthing around, and then you can involve the other players in narrating small parts of the story, more for fluff. They probably won't have a significant impact on what's happening, but you make everybody part of the story. It is your story, and then I talk about your being plural and not singular. Thank you very much, English language. Involve your players, use their strong suits. Number 3. No Dungeon Master screen. Yes, I stopped using mine a few years ago and I love it. Obviously, I realized that you can use your Dungeon Master screen to hide figurines, to hide your own notes if that would be necessary. And yes, you can still hide stuff, that's not the idea. But there's two main things why I don't use mine anymore. First reason, no more fudging rolls. I don't fudge my rolls. I just roll out in the open. What happens, happens. I triple crit the level 1 wizards. Boo-hoo! Time to roll out a new character. My ginormous lizard gorilla fumbles every save in the book and then some. Let your players shine. The game is decided by dice, so let the dice have their impact. I'm going to come back to that topic in a bit, but let them have their impact. Don't fudge your rolls, and the easiest way to not fudge your rolls is don't use a Dungeon Master screen. For me, it's very easy because most of my notes are on a laptop next to me, so I don't really need the screen to hide anything. Minis I just grab from a bag next to me. I don't need to hide anything on the table. That way I also don't spill stuff when I knock into my Dungeon Master screen or whatever. You know, it's good for everybody, really. Coming back to those dice. So obviously, the dice guide the result, but they don't decide everything. All the dice do is state whether an action fails or succeed. In Dungeons and Dragons, there really is no such thing as a degree of success. And that's a bit weird because obviously I do this as well. If a player rolls a 30 on a skill check and they need to get a 10, obviously you can narrate this as a very big success. But a 1, we go back to the stealthing rogue. Your rogue is infiltrating and they have a decent stealth. Like they have +9 stealth, even a 1 gives them a 10, but maybe 10 is not enough. The 1 doesn't mean that they trip over their feet, forget 5 years of ninja training and become an idiot. Incorporate this in your narrative framework. Don't watch the numbers too much. They decide whether it succeeds or fails, but how this plays out is up to you. And you should make sure that it fits the atmosphere, fits what you're narrating at that point. There will be no banana peels appearing suddenly because the rogue fumbled their roll. Maybe one of the guards is just extra on guard that particular evening. The numbers are there to guide you. They don't decide the narrative framework. And then last but certainly not least, try out new systems. I have learned a lot from playing new systems, even from just reading other systems, with a different angle on role-playing games, with a different accent on the system. What I just said about a fumble doesn't have to mean that you turn everything into a disaster. There's dice systems where a fumble really isn't a thing or not present as heavily as in Dungeons and Dragons sometimes. I've learned that from there. The One Ring is a nice example. You throw a lot of dice in the One Ring. You can fail badly, but I mean, you just fail. You don't die instantaneously. There's also a few systems out there with a really nice accent on storytelling. I've learned a lot from those as well. Team storytelling, so all the stuff I was telling about involving your players in how stuff works out. I also kind of picked that up from playing other systems. So I can only advise you to pick up other systems and then go wild. Don't play another D20 system. Go for something with completely different mechanics, even if it's just a read-through of the rules or actually playing it. You know, you could learn something about how you make traveling more interesting or how certain aspects of your narrative framework can be embellished even further because another system really focuses on that. And that's it actually, my dear people. 5 simple tips that have made me a better and more relaxed DM. I hope they work out for you as well. And if all goes well, I'll see you next time in the actual Attic Dungeon.